This is a certified hood classic.
Family, no matter who you are and what you do, you just can't help who you're related to, bruh. Today, man, we're getting ready to check out, man, the tragic case of Jackie Chan's son, my boy. I don't know exactly what we're about to see, because to be honest with you, now I'm not gonna say I didn't know he had a son. I'm just saying it's not something I thought about. Like, I mean, of course Jackie Chan would have a son. It's just not something I thought about. So y'all, man, we're getting ready to check it out, and then sadly it says the tragic case. So now we know something happened. I don't know if his son is alive or, whatnot, but we getting ready to check it out, man. Make sure you hit the like button, go down below, subscribe to your boy, and let's get started.
Jackie Chan's only son hasn't had the easiest life. Between an unsuccessful film career and the time he spent in prison, JC Chan has been unable to live up to the high standards set by his father, and it all began with JC's luxury upbringing after his birth in 1982.
Man, see, look, as soon as he said luxury upbringing, I already know. I was just having a conversation about this with, I had with a few people. It's just not even with one person, just with a few people. And it's just like, man, when you kids, if you brought up, you know how we brought up, man, we was working hard, we were hustling, we were getting it. But then it's like, if you make everything happen for yourself, if you become famous and rich and all this stuff like that, your kids, they might see half of that struggle, but their kids might not see any of that struggle, and it's going to be a big problem.
At this point in time, Jackie Chan was permanently busy with acting and would therefore spend only 2 weeks per year with his son, which was quote, contained in the household as they were too famous to go outside. His father's busy schedule meant that JC was raised almost entirely by his mother, who began to spoil him with luxuries afforded by Jackie Chan's fame.
That's the problem. Look, you need 2 parents in the household, or a parent figure. You get some people raised by their grandmother and their grandpa or something like that, man. But you need a mother figure and a father figure, a masculine and a feminine figure in the house, period.
And fortune. Jackie wrote in his memoir, when he was little, JC never had to worry about having enough food, how to pay his school fees, or if he needed to be driven anywhere. I would arrange it all. I regretted that later. No one should have such a good life from their birth. Jackie Chan clearly believed this, as his upbringing was almost the opposite. Brought up in dirt poor conditions by refugee parents, couldn't even afford to pay for his birth, Jackie Chan was forced to develop discipline as well as an appreciation for scarcity. In addition to this, Jackie Chan's youth consisted of drama training all day long, from 5 AM to 11 PM with breaks for lunch and dinner. When he misbehaved, he was beaten with canes. When he fell ill, he was told to suck it up, which Jackie Chan has since highlighted as beneficial in comparison to his son's upbringing.
I really thank you, my teacher, that tortured me, really, we never drop one rice on the table. Whenever I go back my home, I see my son's shoes, one like this, one like this. One socks, not the socks. No.
Dude, I think Jackie Chan low-key a comedian, bro. Like, I know he's an actor, you know what I'm saying, and a master at his martial arts. But I think low-key, he a bit of a comedian to me, bro.
JC's cushy childhood led Jackie Chan to write in his book, when he was a teenager, I definitely didn't think JC was pushing himself hard enough. I'd work all day, go jogging at night, then get back and see that he'd gone to bed, even though it was only 9-something. I'd grumble, he's asleep already. I'd storm out in a bad mood and go jogging again, thinking when I was his age, I wished he could follow me around all day to see how much I did. Sometimes I'll have 8 meetings in a row, right up until midnight, then I'll go home, do some exercise, and read scripts.
I respect that, but that's where the leadership comes in. And I know that he can't do it, but if Jackie was at the point where he was at home, wake your son up. Like, shit, like, hey, what you doing? Get the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Wake him up. Get him out with you. You know what I'm saying? That's a part. You can't, when it comes to your kids, you have to understand the influences of the world. Some things you just can't, you can't stop, you can't stop them from understanding certain things in the world, because information, technology, people, the information is everywhere. New ideas are being formed all the time by people, and then your kids are going to get influenced by that. But being in the house, if you walked up there and you looked and you're like, look at him, he's asleep. Then at that point, it's like, well, wake his ass up. We going back on that jock, boy.
JC's clear lack of drive and ambition in
your
comparison
ass
to
whipped
his
by.
father led JC to drop out of college at the end of his first year, stating, "I wanted to be a musician. All you can see in Virginia is sheep," although other sources state that he was expelled from the school as a result of excessive drinking, unclean living conditions, and 2 semesters worth of unwarranted absences.
God damn, for them to add unclean living conditions, how was this man living?
JC's desire to become a musician was against the will of Jackie, who had not wished to see their son in show business. He wanted JC to be a lawyer, an engineer, or a doctor, as JC's mother had, quote, already lost her husband to this profession. Despite the wishes of his parents, JC moved from Los Angeles to Hong Kong in 2004, where he planned on cultivating his own successful story in music, stating, "It is my hope to become famous based on my own abilities, rather than rely on my image." JC was so confident in moving to China that he gave up his American nationality in exchange for Chinese nationality. However, it's possible that this choice came into question after he'd released his first album. Described in reviews as being a horrid absolute waste of money, the album simply titled JC was a commercial failure. The reason for this, as described by JC himself, was because Hong Kong is different from other places. You need to do music and movies, leading JC to appear in his first film titled The Twins Effect 2, which received an IMDb rating of less than 5 out of 10 stars. And while it'd be ridiculous to expect an Avengers-level performance from JC's first on-screen appearance, the movies which followed weren't that much better.
See, it just seemed to me like, bro, that's what pissed me off, man. Well, most I would say prodigies, he wasn't really a prodigy. I guess you could just say what most children from famous people don't understand is your parents worked hard for this. Some parents. I'm sure we can all formulate a few in our minds. But I'm just saying, bro, their parents work hard for this, bro. You have the tools. Most kids beg and plead, even your parents that went through it. Let's say Jackie, for example. He went through it as a child. Do you think that he wished that he could have had even a fraction of the luxuries that you had? I'm speaking to his son. The fractions of the luxury that his son had. And instead of you embracing it, you run from it. I understand you don't want to be in somebody's shadow, but that's when you work harder, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? You work harder to be and create your own identity. Like my boy Ray J, boy. For a point in time, he was Brandy's sister. That boy wasn't even Ray J. He was Brandy's sister. You know what I'm saying? When she was singing Impossible, that boy was Brandy's brother. Excuse me, I said Brandy's sister. Brandy's brother. Now he's Ray J. Now Ray J done made it to where you call Brandy, you look at Brandy, oh, you Ray J's sister. You know what I'm saying?
He'd appear alongside his father for Jackie Chan's 100th movie titled 1911 Revolution, yet the collaboration resulted in Jackie Chan's least financially successful and least positively received picture to date, grossing only $127,000 before receiving a score of 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. One year later, JC would play the main character in a movie called Double Trouble, which also entered media headlines after grossing an even more pitiful $9,000 during its first 2 weeks, making it one of the biggest box office flops in history. To add insult to injury, JC would then play the main role in a movie called Whoever, which despite a government mandate forcing it to be played in half of the country's cinemas, failed to crack the Chinese top 10 and has received only 15 ratings on IMDb.
So you mean to tell me they forced you? That's one thing with China. They be forcing people to do shit, and shit. Just like I feel like they, anyways. But look, anyways, what let's stop talking about politics over here, okay? I'm looking at you, but I'm just saying, bro. At the end of the damn day, man, they forced the damn video to be played. And it still got a bad rating, bro. That is a little embarrassing.
Since its release in 2012. The only positive news for JC seemed to have been coming from his music career, as his second studio album would top Taiwanese charts in 2010, although it seems the album hasn't achieved much long-term success, as there's not even a single online review for the music, and it took about 30 minutes of digging just to find the track list. The performance of the album was unimportant anyway, because on the 14th of August 2014, JC would find himself in a profound new media scandal, making every prior controversy seem insignificant. Police would upload footage of JC Chan being arrested at his parents' $10 million luxury Beijing apartment, during which he'd admit to having approximately 100 grams of weed in his cupboard. This was extra bad for the Chan family's reputation, as Jackie Chan had been China's official anti-drug ambassador since 2009. For this reason, Jackie Chan would take to social media to apologize, writing, "For my son JC to get into such trouble, I'm very angry and astonished. As a public figure, I'm ashamed. As a father, I'm heartbroken. I can't begin to describe his mother's pain. I failed to be a good father and I deserve the blame. I will take the responsibility and apologize to the public on behalf of JC."
Damn, bro. You know, that broke my heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I swear, you know, it's just like you take years, bro, to build your image, to cultivate the image. You put hard work, you put blood, literally, sweat, and especially for Jackie Chan's case, blood, sweat, and tears, and this is not a joke. You become ambassador of Hong Kong's anti-drug program, and then your son does that. It's a slap in the face. Like, I mean, me personally, I feel like we shouldn't even be considered drugs, but I'm just saying, for devil's advocate, if it is quote quote considered drugs in that country, then why would you disgrace your peoples like that, man? You don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a bad boy. You don't have to do all of that shit. You could be a bad boy in your own way, bro. You don't have to. Whatever, bro.
In the process, Jackie practically disowned his son, stating that he hadn't and didn't plan on using any of his connections to lessen JC's sentence. I have not visited him even till now. I did not even use any connections to call anyone. If JC only went in jail for 1 week or 10 days, how would the public look at us? We are public figures and all the more we have to abide by the laws, which was accompanied by Jackie Chan somewhat hilariously telling JC's lawyer to slap him twice for me. While Jackie Chan wanted absolutely nothing to do with JC, the Chinese government took the opposite approach, making a public anti-drug example out of JC by televising the trial, which would happen approximately 4 months after his arrest.
Look at that nigga right there, boy. That nigga off to the right, boy. That boy holding a shit, ain't he? That boy's
JC was sentenced to 6 months in prison and was ordered to pay a $320 fine for possession as well as the crime of sheltering others to take drugs. JC took this sentence humbly, stating, "I have broken the law and should be punished. When I return to society, I will not repeat this because I have let my family and friends down yet again, although this wasn't enough to satisfy his parents, who didn't even attend the trial." Whilst in prison, JC would send letters to his mother in which he explained that he experimented with drugs because of the bad crowd he was mixing with, and started relying on drugs to soothe himself whenever he felt upset. JC also wrote about the struggles he faced growing up in a famous
You gotta take accountability, bro.
family, and revealed that the expectations of fame placed a lot of pressure on him. He then expressed his unhappiness with Jackie for not showing him enough concern. However, his father wasn't rushing to offer any kind of sympathy. Jackie Chan would state in an interview, "I hope to be an anti-drug ambassador for life. I even hope that after JC is out, he can be an anti-drug ambassador too, telling everyone to stay away from drugs," which was followed by Jackie stating
Weed is not a drug.
publicly that he supports the death penalty for certain serious offenses. Additionally, Jackie Chan would announce that he would donate the entirety of his reported $350 million net worth to charity and not pass it on to his son JC, adding, "If he is capable, he can make his own money. If he is not, then he will just be wasting my money." The problem is JC's earning capacity has been stifled pretty severely as a result of the public sentencing. For example, in the 3 years prior to his arrest, JC acted in 10 different movies. However, since his imprisonment almost 10 years ago, he's appeared in only 3 films, one of which he wasn't even credited for as a result of the scandal. JC also lost endorsements from Adidas, Nivea, Yishion, Johnson & Johnson.
Did this man just say Adidas? Adidas? The fuck is Adidas, my boy?
Johnson contact lenses, Stride Gum, KFC, and Chevrolet, with this rock bottom causing him to return to America, even though he was no longer a citizen there. The father and son still share a residence in Hong Kong, though they don't spend much time together. As an actor, a businessman, and his city's unofficial goodwill ambassador at large, Jackie Chan has a busy schedule. The two seem to have reconciled since JC moved back to the USA, yet JC continues to differ himself, stating, "I don't want to always follow my dad's footsteps. I want
Look, bro, you need to follow some footsteps. The path that you're set forth is not very positive. I'm just saying, bro. I'm not trying to bring the man down. I'm not trying to say that I'm better. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say the path that I follow is much better than his, but what I'm just trying to tell you is you gotta understand when you need some fucking help, bro. Excuse me. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta understand, like, bro, you had $350 million just waiting on you. So whether you lived, whether you prospered in life, whatever you did, you had that waiting on you. You had 2 to 3 movies. You had one of the biggest fails in history in movie at the box office. That don't light a fire under your ass to make you say, man, my dad made it in acting. Maybe I'll fucking get some acting lessons from him. Or if you don't, why don't you go and, bro, you can have the best acting lessons money could buy, bro. You can go get these lessons and then you can go star in your own movies. Golly, bro, do you know how much it fucking costs to make a movie, bro? To make a movie, and I'm being honest with y'all, to make a movie, yeah, I will show y'all, to make a movie, bro, to make it solid, to make it dope, all it takes is around $10,000 to $15,000, bro. Bear with me. You get the sound, you get the equipment, you get the locations. Bro, you can make a really good story. Even if it's Kung Fu, hey-ya! All of that extra shit, bro, you can do it. You just got to make it cater to you, bro. Look at all these movies on Tubi. Look at all these movies on other... I'm telling you, bro, people do not apply themselves, and then they want to start blaming everybody else for their fucking problems. No, bro. It is you. You are responsible for you. But that's a good thing. You're responsible for the bad, but you can also be responsible for the good.